I don't have a cute opening for us.
That's all right. We're cute enough.
I got nothing. This was a good episode, though, of course, because it was them. It was them being adorable.
Yes.
I figured out what's going on with Whitney and Heather and like why that's not landing.
Okay.
Whitney's still acting like she's on Salt Lake City. And wrong audience.
Yep.
They're like, we don't really give a shit about the Mormon church.
Yes.
Like, it doesn't land with us like you think it does. And so she, like, when she called Lisa Barlow, or when Lisa Barlow called her, like, in that scene, they were like, oh, they're gonna know. They're gonna find out that Heather's a liar. And it's like, you guys are still having the same scenes you had when you were filming Salt Lake City. But you're talking to a bunch of, this is the thing about housewives. They're all slightly narcissistic divas. So they're worried about their own stuff.
They don't care if Heather's a liar, unfortunately. Like, they care in, like, this quick moment, but it has no implications on their shows, on their lives, any of that. So I agree with you. They're both, they fallen victim to, okay, how do I bring enough Salt Lake City? I think maybe they're trying to, like, gain, like, fandom from being on the show. They're like, okay, Porsha is on here because they keep talking about how many followers Porsha has. So, like, maybe Porsha's on here, people will watch. Maybe we can use this to our advantage to get people hooked into Salt Lake City. And it's like, first of all, Housewives watchers, they're going to watch regardless, begrudgingly, but they'll watch. Do we care about any of this? No. We need to see what season 4 gives, and it needs to go in a whole nother direction. Personally, I think they need to, if they were smart, they would lean into Heather actually being a villain, because I think Heather could be a great villain if she acted the way she did at those dinners during season 3. If you just commit to being that, and now that Jen Shaw's gone, it could be your show, but I doubt she'll do that.
Heather would be such a good villain. She's really missing out. And so Heather, I think, is kind of loving that Whitney's going on this journey. And everyone's like, Whitney, we don't care. She's like, right? Who gives a shit? Because Heather is clearly like not telling her whole truth and giving like weird, weird conflicting, inconsistent answers. And she's loving that the rest of the women are like, Whitney, you're being dumb, because that wasn't happening on Salt Lake City. It was being like, wait, that's not correct. She's like, wait, this works for me. So now Whitney is being, this is so classic Whitney. She's on a solo mission, a mission that no one else is privy to. And she's like, I'm about to expose Heather for the liar that she is. And she's going to go into every scene moving forward like, guys, get ready. I'm about to tell you something you all don't want to hear.
That no one gives a shit about.
It's like,
exactly.
that's how Whitney delivers all. That's how she every time Whitney goes into her big reveals, like when she went up to Jen at Coach's birthday party and was like, I'm gonna tell you what they've been saying about you. Mary said, and she did the shut the fuck up about Mary, and through the glass.
Through the glass, yep.
And when she in Arizona or wherever the hell they were, Zion, and was like, Lisa, I have to tell you what we've all been saying about you. And they're like, why? Why now? What are you doing? This is
right. Now
Whitney's like, I'm gonna expose Heather for the liar that she is. And they're like, we don't care. We're
at all.
None of us, we're in Thailand. We don't. What's a role? None of them even are sure what this is that she's even talking about.
Right, exactly.
They keep calling it a role. They're not sure. They're like, roll call, like what?
Right. No one knows, and that just shows how much they don't care. The only reason like Porsha and Gizelle are like feigning interest is because one, it'll keep them off of like Simon's back, and then two, it'll keep them from getting in Giselle's like real business. So they're like, you know what? Fine, this will be an episode, okay. Sure. But now let's move on. Let's get into like why are Marisol and Alexia like gonna fight on this trip? Let's move into some other shit.
Yeah, you could see the producer wheels turning when they let it go too long. They're like, okay, all right, wrapping it up, moving along.
Yep.
Okay, let's get into it, guys. But before I do, if you're watching on YouTube, don't forget to subscribe, like, comment below, hit the bell. Love you guys on YouTube. Killing it over there. And if you haven't already, please give me a nice 5-star rating and review on whatever platform you listen. It really helps out my algorithm. Let's Apple Podcasts know, like, oh shit, should I be pushing out this podcast? Okay. While you're at it, give Kendrick over on his podcast a nice 5-star rating and review. Reality and Comics 2, available everywhere you get my podcast. And that's it, I think, right? Yes.
Think so.
Okay, that's good enough. Fine. Okay, roll the intro. Here at She Speaks Bravo, we believe that Bravo TV is a great form of self-care and therapy. Look at me. I've been using it for over a decade, and I am a complete mess. That's me, by the way. I'm Emily, and I'm your host on this journey.
What is this, honey?
I love that.
If you're not already subscribed, get subscribed and hit that notification bell because I'm releasing new episodes at least 3 times a week. You fool!
That's my opinion!
I talk Bravo, I talk true crime, and sometimes I talk a little scripted. So whatever you're here for, I hope you enjoy the show. Okay, Porsha and Gizelle walking downstairs. They're doing a little walk and talk on their way to breakfast. And Portia's like, did you guys get naked in the pool or what? She's like, you know, those white girls on their shows, they like to get their titties out on the camera screen. But Gizelle points to herself. She's like, she's a black girl right here. But then Porsha goes, this is true. Well, she's a black white girl. And I was like, ooh, don't say that to Gizelle. That's such a point of contention on their show. And Gizelle, which is, you know, here's the thing I have to say, Gizelle is so afraid of this. It's like your dad led like the Black rights movement. You have to know that you look like you're mixed.
Yeah.
You know, she's so afraid of it. And I'm sure she got, you know what, it must be something that she was made fun of when she was younger.
I'm sure she's talked about being I don't know if she talked about it in that manner though, but she's Gizelle will make it a compliment, but she's talked about like always being
that's such a good
pretty
way to
girl,
put it,
like,
Kendrick.
yeah.
She'll talk about it like it was a compliment.
Yeah. She's always been like the prettiest girl in the room to her. Like people have always kind of pointed to like her complexion, her eye color, all these different things, and being of course being in mostly Black spaces for most of my life, we know what it's like when, someone that isn't, darker hue or doesn't have what they call, quote unquote, typical African-American features and this kind of stuff, what it is to then see someone and kind of not make them like the punching bag, but kind of like, I don't do it, I'm an angel, but
I'm an angel,
but that's when, anyone can be othered is what I'm trying to say. Like, doesn't matter, like, race, creed, anything, anybody can be othered in certain situations. So it feels like she has kind of a chip on her shoulder in a way. Cause I think it stems from her and Robin being on the show and being constantly like, called the white girls and stuff like that, and it probably is such a dagger for her because her father was so instrumental in the civil rights movement. So I mean, it has to play a part in that too, which is weird. You know what? I won't go in Potomac because God, I'm glad they're gone. Yes, be gone for a while.
Gonna do it. I can relate a bit because being half Mexican and my sister looks even whiter than I do because she takes after my dad's side. It's the white side. When we would go to family functions, we looked like the weirdest family. Yes. Because at least I look just like my mom, and my mom's a Weta. And so it'd be like, oh my God. And I do, but like, it's weird when I look at pictures of my mom when she was younger, sometimes I'm like, is that me?
Oh, wow.
It trips me out. Like when we had my grandpa's memorial service and they were playing like sweet pictures of like the family throughout the years. There were at least 5 times where I was like, is that me? I cannot tell. So at least I have her features, but my sister looks nothing like anyone in the family. She's super tall. She has like long cascading blonde hair, looks like the whitest girl, and she's half Mexican. So like we can relate on that level of just looking like you don't fit in at all among a family that is that race, you know?
Yeah.
So I can sort of see it. It's unfortunate for Gizelle that she's so defensive as opposed to being like, yes, you know, it is clearly that there was, unfortunately, like an awful white master who did, you know what I mean? That's like where because that's why in my lineage,
it comes from.
There was German descent because somebody in the colonization did something. You know what I mean? So when Porsha said that, I was like, Porsha, do you not know?
Right.
That's not the thing to say to Gizelle.
And she followed it up with saying, "You're Creole," which, you know, New Orleans Creole. So I think in her mind, she genuinely was like, "Oh, I thought you were like leaning into
cool
that.
With that."
Yeah. So whoopsie.
Yep. It's like, you don't know. Hey, she also hadn't seen the season.
Right. That's
you
true.
have no idea what's coming up on the. And I bet when Porsha watched the season, she was like, "Oops."
Do you think Porsha watches Housewives when she's off season?
Okay, you know,
like
great
any
question.
of them, I wonder.
I feel like she was commenting on one of them, wasn't she? Am I remembering
on Watch
wrong?
What Happens Live? Maybe. I think she was talking about something. Because I always wonder. I'm like, certain housewives don't give me the vibe that they.
Oh, you know what? I'm misremembering. She was commenting on when they did a Real World Homecoming because when they were bringing back some of the Real Worlds, and they did the Real World Homecoming for Los Angeles. And she was cracking up at Tammy having to deal with them. They were having this awful conversation about the N-word.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking of that. She was laughing at how Tammy was just losing her mind.
That scene, oh my God.
They were literally saying the N-word. They weren't saying what I'm saying, the N-word. They were saying it.
Yes.
And Tammy kept being like, Tammy kept looking at each of them.
It's not funny, but it's so funny because Tammy's reaction throughout that entire scene. But the funniest part was, I can't remember who it was, but somebody jumped up like in the room and was like, "You're not allowed to say," and then she says the word and Tammy's like, "Bitch, you're not either. What are you?"
Bad.
It was a mess. Tammy was fighting for her life whenever she was like, "Get me the fuck out of here." Good God.
Her eyes were, she's smoking a cigarette, hair in a bonnet. Why did I sign up for this?
God.
Leah and Candace, they're in the bathroom. I'm done with Leah. Candace is egging her on way too much. Way too much. Leah's like, I know of all the things Gizelle has said on TV, she's done way worse than saying she was bored at a dinner. Get off it, okay? Like we're not comparing those things. You were rude.
Leah loves Candace because Candace is allowing Leah to be the victim in every situation. So Leah is just happy that somebody is finally like, you know what, Leah? You are the oppressed here, and I'm going to allow you to be. It's like, God, Leah always, she thrives on being like the one in the room being targeted. It's so weird.
Okay, thank you, Kendrick. Let's focus on this for a second. Okay,
let's.
Because you know what? That's what happened her first season, and people didn't clock it because we were dealing with the horror show that is Ramona. And Sonia sometimes, and Dorinda, and like it's Luann. Like we got, we've got those women to go up against, so you don't notice it. But Luann had that charity function where she was taking the women from where she was already bad enough that she spoke.
Oh God!
At that charity that she does, where she's like, I too have felt the shackles of prison. Like you were there for a night.
Right.
And these people have been in prison for 20 years. Okay, get over it. But she took some of the women from Fortune Society to get their hair done. And at that event, Leah is still fighting with Ramona. And she's so pissed off. She keeps fighting with Ramona that she leaves and doesn't even stay for the event. And I noted, I'm like, so let me get this straight. Leah, Miss like woke Leah, and telling Ramona she's privileged and blah blah blah, can't get past her need to fight with Ramona and prove that Ramona is so mean to her that she leaves and can't stay with these women, talk to these women, let them have a fun day of pampering. granted, Ramona did too, but and also ended up like offending one of them. But still,
right?
It's like Leah's got to be I'm the most victimized here in this room. It's me. Everyone's being mean to me.
Right. It's always her.
And Ebony came out after after they never came back and was like, I really ended up being disappointed in Leah. I thought Leah was my girl, but it was seemingly kind of performative. Leah refused Leah was one of the people who refused to film with Ebony.
Let's talk about it.
Sonia was the only one who said she would.
Because Leah knew her just. Let me tell you something. When people get their back pushed against the wall, that really tells you if they're a quote unquote ally or not. Okay. Because Leah was saying, oh, well, okay, now I've got two choices. I can either stick up for Ebony, which, I've been pretending to do this entire time, getting in the same clubhouse rooms as her, taking over, talking, telling why these women on this cast suck so much and why we need to, welcome Ebony and all this kind of stuff. I can either continue to do that, or these women who have been on the show since the beginning, I can side with them, and then maybe I'll get brought back for the show for another season as well. And guess which route she took? We all know which one.
The latter. Please. Okay, Leah. Candace is just more than happy to be like, yes, she's like, you hate Gizelle. You're not afraid to go up against her. Let me just keep providing you some ammunition. Like, and then she said this, and then she said this. And then, this is a perfect relationship right now.
Yes.
Candace does have a very good line. The only difference between housewives and soap operas is they're reading from a script. But we don't get Emmys, and we deserve an Emmy, and we agree. We agree. Days of Our Wives.
Perfect edit.
Oh yeah. And they all were loving it. The only one who really didn't deliver was Heather.
Yeah.
She just looked up. I was like, fail. Everyone else. Porsha's was the best.
Oh, hands down. Yeah.
She gave us
Whitney's looked like it was actually like in a soap opera opening. Yes. I was like, ooh, the hair. Okay.
Yeah. They had so much fun with that. Our rep breakfast, and Heather would be a little messy. Heather's like, hey, so Leah, where are you at with everybody? Did you resolve it? And Alexia's not letting her have it. Alexia's like, hers was like nothing, no big deal. Whereas the heavy stuff is with you and Whitney. So don't try that. Okay. Right. Everyone's like, nope, we're not going to let you do that. Nice try being a little housewife stirring it up. You can't pull it off. Okay. Right. Okay.
You got to get a little more practice in Salt Lake, and then we'll talk.
Alexia literally was like, what was that?
Right. You know what? I'm hopeful. Maybe season 4 of Salt Lake City would be great because Heather's had a week to kind of sit around some greats and kind of absorb the tactics and the strategies and this kind of stuff. And maybe she'll apply that in Salt Lake City correctly, the way we want to see it, because, we need some help over there. So maybe Heather has done the homework. She's gone to, college, like they say in New Jersey, when someone goes somewhere else. But, she's gone to college and she's learned some things. So maybe we're in for a great season.
She took some notes. Like after she failed, she went, okay, don't do that.
Yes.
Yeah. She at the end of every day, she's like, okay, this worked. This didn't. She's going to hopefully.
And then pulls out Porsha's book and continues reading.
Yes. Heather's like, the issue with Whitney is much deeper because she admitted she was just trying to play with the big dogs. And she said, I only wrote the book, for the show, that I'm still a Mormon. And, I'm just pretending not to like Mormonism just because. And then Leah cuts her off. She's like, okay, Whitney didn't technically say all those details. Like, you're now just like putting things out there. She just basically said, watch out for you.
Right.
Porsha,
a little much, Heather.
Yeah, chill out. Like that's what she basically said on your show. You're right. That's what she said when you guys were filming. So I don't know what you're fucking talking about. Like they're like, right. She didn't. Whoa. They're like, what?
Right.
You're giving away some other shit, maybe, but
right.
That's not what.
Fourth wall breaking. Yeah.
Whoa. Porsha comes down and they're gonna get massages. They're like, when's that starting? She goes, if you lay, they will come.
Put that on a t-shirt.
They had an adventure day plan, but it's going to be raining, so they had to change it. It's giving me Below Deck when they have to like come up with interior activities. Oh, that sucks. But
she did a great job.
It was
of like
great. Yeah.
She did one where it was like kind of team building, getting rallying the girls, but then the other one was just pure mess. So it was a great balance. So she rebounded great with this. Yes.
Yeah. Clearly it was all production. Like production was the one who did it. Porsha just pretended, because at one point they're like, Porsha has no idea what the fuck we're doing. So producers did it, but Porsha's like, yeah, I did it. Yeah. Meanwhile, Whitney calls Lisa Barlow, and just hearing Lisa Barlow's voice was like, oh, I missed her. Because Whitney's like, Heather just tells people that I'm lying and only do things for the TV show. And Lisa goes, wait, what? I just missed her.
Which I've got to say, Whitney, you're kind of making her point, because you and Lisa Barlow are not friends. Y'all are allies. There's a big difference. Like, y'all both hate the same people. Y'all aren't friends. So you calling her during this moment really was one to get her on this show, obviously, to kind of like, it's the Housewives experience. So, get Lisa Barlow involved. Great. Oh, yay, Lisa. Okay. That kind of moment. But also, like, we're not fooled. This is not your friend. This is just, you want people to know that dynamics have shifted. And I don't think, this is the thing. Heather and Whitney are not going to come back together as long as Whitney and Lisa are friends. I don't think it's humanly possible for them to all three be on the same page.
No, because Heather is so triggered by Lisa. There's just physically no way ever that Heather can be friends with Lisa. She's too insecure around her. She doesn't believe that Lisa genuinely likes her.
Right.
Lisa's confused by that, because Lisa's like, I think Lisa comes across like she's being diabolical, but I don't think Lisa actually is diabolical. I think she's genuinely like, thinks she's a good singer. Like genuinely, like when she genuinely thought that she slayed.
Yes.
And doesn't get that we're like laughing at her. Like she's like, she thinks she's like, right? Like, right? And we're like, yes.
I mean, she's putting out didn't she say she was doing a Christmas EP or something?
A mini EP. Yeah. Like she's,
girl.
You know what I mean? So like, she's genuinely like confused when Heather thinks that she's like hating her. She's like, I really am not even thinking about you.
Right.
I'm just like wondering if you like my outfit. And Heather doesn't get that. And so like that, they'll never be on the same page. And yeah, you're right. Yeah. So Whitney's like, so I called out the fact that like, wait, I don't get it. You're writing a book about leaving the Mormon church, but you're still Mormon. And Lisa's, she's like, she's mad because like people know that she's a liar and it's being exposed. So it's same exact storyline that we exhausted in Salt Lake City. So this is what I was kind of worried about with this cast. I was like, oh, we did just exhaust this. So it is a little tedious. I don't care. I really don't.
Yep.
I don't care at all. Whitney did figure out that because Heather recommended her for the show, she did have this loyalty to her to like kind of hate the same people. Whitney's confessional. She's like, I've been Heather's mop and I do not want to be that anymore.
I know she's one of the easiest people to like imitate and mock, but when hearing her speak just drives me crazy. I don't know what it is. It drives me so crazy. I'm like, oh my God, either speed it up or like, what are we doing here? Like, come on, I'm wasting time. Get to it.
She's ridiculous.
God.
She's so ridiculous.
You know what? But her saying this, I kind of I don't sympathize with anyone, but I get kind of both sides to it in a way, because Whitney obviously doesn't want to play that role, which good for you. You shouldn't play that role. But then also I would think like if I brought someone into like this, I'll phrase it like this isn't what I think, people. This is what I'm imagining Heather's thinking. But like if I brought you into a situation where now especially you're able to be the only moneymaker in your family because your husband was fired and like this, this and that, and I'm still the one that's like getting targeted with like all this stuff, and you're not even like, it's one thing. I wouldn't expect blind loyalty, but I would also be like, well, who said it? Taylor Armstrong, like, if you can't be my friend, just don't be my enemy. Like, I think I would expect at least like bare minimum that instead of like pulling out the chopper and spraying every time you see me around. So I get both sides, but also like, shut up, Salt Lake.
Yeah, I'm kind of right there with you. It's like, no, it's okay, like, to just let her be at this point.
Yeah,
it is getting.
Exactly.
I was much more on Whitney's side during the season because I was like in the Salt Lake City world. Heather was driving me nuts. It was becoming really exhausting. I was like, Heather, you are very clearly contradicting yourself, and it is getting really obnoxious watching you behave the way you are. But now we're in Ultimate Girls Trip, and Whitney, you're executing something that doesn't need to be executed here.
Exactly.
Like you're on some mission that's totally unnecessary. You're
in a non-extradition country. Like there's no need to try to get her back to America to put her on trial. Like we're not, just enjoy the vacation, okay?
Yes.
Look at the palm trees. You're good. The sun is, well, it's raining, but enjoy the sky. Just like enjoy some other things. Like
Mix
this
and
is
mingle,
not that. Yes.
Like, we don't, this mission
get
is
a
not.
Tan.
Go to deal with that at the reunion.
Yeah, exactly.
And let them enjoy, let Heather hang herself.
What she did.
The problem is when you try to be the one to take someone down, you end up looking bad.
Yes.
They will do it to themselves, like you said, which they did, because in the very next scene, there's Porsha at the same time down there saying like, Whitney took 15 years to get her name off the roll. How long did it take you? And then Heather goes, I haven't tried it because it doesn't mean anything to me. It's just a database. And Porsha goes, but I thought you said yesterday that you were getting your name off the roll. And then they flash back to Heather saying like, exactly, when Whitney was like, I couldn't get my name off the roll because the priesthood won't let me. So Portia's all confused and she's like, you're a bad liar, not a bad Mormon.
Perfect line. Perfect line. Yes.
And that's all the energy we need on the topic, Whitney.
Yes.
We don't need more than that.
Yeah. It's, you know what? It's like Karen Huger. We know Karen Huger's a liar. Karen Huger lies about everything.
The dumbest stuff too.
The dumbest stuff. It's like Mia too. Like there are a lot of liars in Potomac. It's just like that. It just is what it is. Accept that they're lying and just like move the fuck on.
Yeah. So Whitney, don't make it your mission. Don't ruin your vacation trying to expose her, because half the people there don't really understand what Mormonism is. So it's the wrong audience to be like, explain. First you have to explain to them what exactly the role is. They're not paying attention.
Right.
Move it along.
Get it together.
Pepsi brings Porsha KFC again. He's so proud of himself. He's so proud. Leah's confessional, she goes and sits in the confessional that they can like self turn on. And this is such a Leah, this is so on brand. She's like, I'm not a follower. That's her whole, like, I don't follow people. People are afraid to like not follow people.
We get it, girl. You okay?
It feels like people are following people. Me and Candace, we don't follow people. We think for ourselves. I'm like, it is so simple. You were rude. That's it.
Right.
You were rude and it was unnecessary. That's it. That's all it was. It's that small. It's that small. You were like, oh my God, I'm so bored. Can you guys like take shots or something? Ugh. That would be rude to anybody.
Right. Plain and simple. Plain and simple.
Now she's turned it into like, I'm not a follower. Oh my God. Okay. Girl. Thanks. Bye. Those massages though, let me fucking tell you, give me one.
Right.
I want the stretching. I want like when they did the knee bent with the other knee, I was like, oh God, I can feel that in my lower back and I needed all of that.
I want whatever I want to be making whatever sounds Gizelle was making during this massage. That's what I'm trying to be right now.
Cha cha.
Cha 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 cha. Yeah, I'm trying to be all of that, okay? Put me on it right now.
I fucking love Gizelle and Porsha's confessional. She's like, Giselle's like, so they touch your vagina. And Porsha goes, I want my money back because ain't nobody touch mine. That's classic. That is like an iconic. Yes. We're gonna play that forever.
Yes.
Gizelle and Heather go inside to cool off. And Gizelle, this is what I noticed. She's like, let me switch my tactic up a little bit. I was coming on too strong. So she's like, let's check in with Jen. Like she's trying to play it like a little more casual. She's like, let's just check in with Jen, maybe.
You know, whatever. We got some time. You know, whatever.
Little time to kill. I don't know. And you could tell Heather wants to please Gizelle, but she's nervous. And she's like, yeah, we haven't technically even spoken. We just text since she pled guilty.
Child.
And Gizelle, I love Gizelle in her confessional. She's asking the producer, she's like, did I call Jen a criminal? Ooh, she's going to be lighting me up on Twitter. Do they have Twitter in jail? Heather straight up FaceTimes Jen. It's like, Heather, you're going to be in trouble.
Oof.
You shouldn't have done that.
I was praying for an answer too. I was praying she would have answered that phone. God.
And Jen's like, bitch, I fucking know where you are. I cannot believe you even tried it. I know you're going to be on camera. And Gizelle even said, like, good thing she didn't answer. As soon as she did, I would have been like, Jen, where are you? What are you doing? When do you go in? How long did you know that you were going to plead guilty? Oh, she hung up. She hung up. All right. Exactly how it would have gone down.
I would have loved it. So I love the fact that my favorite thing about this was she didn't answer and Gizelle just goes, maybe she'll call right back. Let's wait around a second.
I'm not giving up.
Right. She was committed.
A true reporter.
Yes. A true journalist.
True journalist. Lunchtime, Porsha in her low cut, open chest with the built-in fans.
Yes.
On both sides. I was like, where the fuck did you get that? You need to drop the link to that fit because that was everything.
She's always doing those Amazon lives. Like, girl, put that on there. Where is that on the wish list?
What is that?
Right.
So many complaints about having to do the barbecue aspect. Like everyone's like, you have to what? It's like, have you no one's ever done Korean barbecues. Made me want Korean barbecue so bad.
Oh my God, Korea! I know, I love me so. I see when I go with my family, because me and my cousins usually will go and do it. I'm never the one that cooks it, but I'm always the one. I'll do the ordering for the family. Yeah, you know me. I'm not. I'm like, no. I'm okay on that. You do the cooking. I'll do the ordering. Okay, because I know y'all don't know how many the quantity and all. I got you. So I do the ordering. They do the cooking. It's all smooth.
And you know what, like sides to get and all that stuff too, because you got to know those things.
Absolutely. I'm prepared every time.
I want Korean barbecue tonight.
I know. It sounds good.
Oh, it's so good. I respected Marisol asking if they had any mayo or sour cream because those are some of my favorite sides too. I like sour cream a lot.
Do you?
I love sour cream.
You know what? I had to grow into it when I became an adult, because I used to be the one, like my mom when I was a kid loved like the Taco Bell, what are they? Like Chalupa? The tacos with the sour cream, just like anything with the sour cream in them. But there's always the versions.
Taco Bell Supreme.
Yes, the Supremes. And so she would always get those, and I was like, I don't. But then as an adult, I'm like, oh my God, give me the Supreme version. Like, don't give me that childish ass. Yeah. No Supreme taco. Yeah. So it had to grow on me. So now I'm a sour creamy now. Yes.
I love it. Yes. So I noticed this on my second watch. Candace pre-folds her triangle before saying, Porsha, I wanted to talk to you about something that's been on my mind. She knew she was going to cry. But my favorite is as she starts talking, she says, I don't want to cry about this. But I'm like, but you knew you were going to because you pre-folded your triangle.
Yes.
Porsha impersonating Candace, dabbing.
Oh my
God.
God.
Her tear was, sorry, Candace.
Right.
Like, even Candace, I hope when you watch that, you laughed because.
Yes.
She's like, she's going to make sure that it doesn't drop past her cheek.
Yes, every time. I don't know what Porsha folded either, but that sucker was big. Candace is getting bigger too, though. It's like it gets bigger and bigger every time we see it. Good Lord. Sheesh.
For real though. I think she taught Sutton how to make one too when they did their the Housewives thing. Yeah.
The triangle. Yes.
The triangle. Candace says that so this is about the aftermath of the fight. We had just talked about this on our last recap. So the aftermath of the fight with Monique was like the press putting out false articles that were favorable towards Monique. Monique was leaking a lot of things and making sure that the narrative was spun in her favor.
The absolute most. I agree with Candace on, because that was really what turned me against Monique, and I was like heavily team Candace during this whole time, because that when I saw the fight, as opposed to like what all Monique was putting out for an entire year before it aired, I was like, okay, I've been duped. I have been gaslit. I have been a lot of things. There's no reason any of this should have been leaked. And this is what I saw. Like all of that, very egregious. Like, no, I'm team Candace on that aspect, but I do turn on her at some point during this argument, just so FYI.
Same. Yeah. She says, you went on chat room and told everyone that I was suing her for the down payment on my house, and I didn't know you. And Portia's like, well, look, I was just thinking I was being there for my friend. And Candace gets Candace. It was messy. It was defamatory. And Porsha says, it's not defamatory if that's what my friend is telling me. And technically, Porsha did say Monique said this. She didn't say this is a fact. She said Monique said this. And in the clip, you see Gizelle immediately step in and say, no. So that's how the clip went down. That's how the execution of that went down. So it's not like it was even lingering as fact. Right. Whitney chimes in and says that Candace was honoring her contract by not saying anything, which is true. Yet Monique was getting this platform to tell her story. But then Gizelle steps in and is like, but I used that same platform to defend Candace, which is what I just kind of said. Like, as much as Porsha did try to give Monique this platform, there's Gizelle who was right there going, no, that's not what happened.
To me, it feels like in Candace's mind, she's making it out to be like Porsha reached out and said, hey, give me your written statement for this, as if we're in court, an affidavit. I'm going to read it on the show. Candace and Monique were friends, so I'm sure they talked about this, because she said Monique reached out. Yeah, who would I say? Yeah.
Candace.
Porsha, my bad. Porsha and Monique were friends, still are, I'm assuming, but were friends during this time, especially went on vacation together with their kids, like all this stuff. So it doesn't seem wild to me that Monique would reach out to her after this fight had happened, and they do like some typical friend chat. So like her bringing it up on the show, it's not, listen, Candace is making this into be like Wolf Blitzer versus Anderson Cooper, or like Barbara Walters. It's like, no, it's not this deep. It is literally chat room, which up until, this show, everyone was acting like was something, nobody watches that shit. We don't, all this kind of stuff. So like, we're making it a lot more serious than it actually was in this moment. And so I feel like now that's when I kind of, in this argument, at least turned against Candace, because I'm like, that's a lot. Like, this is a lot of leaps to like go there. Like, I don't know what you're doing right now.
He clearly was just saying her perspective on the topic that was happening, because that's what they did on chat room. And then there was Gizelle, thank God, there to defend Candace.
Staunchly.
But Candace is like, Monique was given an opportunity to make a statement and I was not. And there's Gizelle like, but I was there to clarify it. And Candace is screaming, but it's not the same thing. And Gizelle, I felt bad for Gizelle, because she's like, but you're acting like I didn't write for you. And I did. Yeah. And now Candace is in her screaming phase where she's not going to hear it. I'd be grateful that you spoke for me and still wish I had the opportunity to speak for myself.
Which I get. I want to go on record. I 100% get that. I understand that. The disconnect with me, it lies when I don't think that like Monique submitted a written statement. Yeah. I think Porsha was just saying like gossip.
This is what she said to me, and then and it was over.
Right. And Gizelle, who has been with Candace during this whole time, said what she thinks about it. So it's like, it wasn't, I don't know, Candace made it out to be a lot bigger than it was.
Well, and she thought that when she cried and said, when you did that, it hurt me. She thought Porsha was going to say, and I'm sorry for saying something that wasn't true.
No.
But
She should have learned the day before when they were on the boat. Your tears aren't going to work on Porsha.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Porsha literally was like, I came over here to comfort you for crying, and now I'm arguing with your ass.
Yeah. So it's like, this is kind of unnecessary to do. She wanted more. She didn't get it. Now she's going into angry mode. And then Candace starts referencing her master's in communication. And Porsha says, well, I have a journalism job. I'm saying Candace is like, we can move on. But Marisol's like, it's just a fluff opinion show. It's not investigative reporting that goes behind the scenes.
The best opinion of the whole bunch, if you ask me. I'm like, what did we like? This is like literally us arguing about like a Wendy Williams rumor about something. Like, we know Wendy Williams gonna pull rumors from anywhere, anyhow, any place. Like, stop it. It's okay.
Like, you're basically mad that Portia's friends with Monique.
Yes.
I hate to say that, Candace, but that's all you're mad about.
Yes.
And you're mad that what? Like, well, I guess she wasn't mad that Gizelle was there, but she's like, Gizelle was there and had your back. Like, Gizelle was there. She had your back. Everything was squashed. It's not like this got circulated as fact. Like, wrong execution here.
Yep.
But they move on quick. Portia's like, let's play a game. And it's over. Like, this is just, she is so used to Atlanta women, that Porsha. She's like, it's impressive. So they play that takra, which is like volleyball. But then when Porsha goes, but we're going to play them in elephant suits. She goes inside and you see Gizelle clearly look at producers like, what's she talking about? And then she comes out. I laughed so fucking hard at them in these suits. At one point, Porsha goes, you got to get low. And the image of her, she's like, I play rough, I play hard, I play to win.
Yes, like, I am a competitor.
Oh, God. It was brilliant of them to do it like this, just like so silly and stupid. The visual, they're so into it. Candace is not, though. She's like, I am not competitive. I do not want to break a nail. Pepsi keeping score. He's so into it.
Yes.
He's having so much fun. He loves this. He's like, they're all still here with me. I love it.
Exactly.
Oh my God. Then they play Tiny Hands.
Yep.
Alexia's the one eating, and Marisol's like, eat, come on, eat. The SLC girls cheat. Of course they do. Candace and Gizelle win, and the way Gizelle goes, Potomac. It was really good.
Yes.
They played chew it or spew it. I can't believe they did that with the scorpion. And they did. Some of them ate it.
I'm adventurous like that. I probably wouldn't have, like, obviously I'm like an open book too, so I would have told anything, but I probably would have tried the scorpion. Like, I'm that person.
Really?
Like, I like to try stuff just to say I've tried it. So, like, yeah, I would have probably tried it too.
No one was too grossed out. Everyone was pretty much like, everyone was like, okay, it was whatever.
I looked at, you know what? I forgot who I was recording with, but I looked it up while we were recording because I was like, what does a scorpion taste like? And I think they said it's bitter is one of the words, but no, not sweet, bitter and something. It was another adjective. I can't remember what it was, but bitter being one of them. I was like, maybe chewy, was it? I don't know, but I was like, that's kind of gross. I don't know how I feel about that, but
I've been watching a bunch of the challenge lately, and they always have an eating aspect, and those are not my favorites. I hate the eating parts.
Bitter and salty. That's what it was.
That's not bad.
But someone said, one of those sites said it tastes like a really good beef jerky. So maybe
that's not bad. That's not bad.
I don't like eating challenges. You just said I don't like eating challenges on shows either. There's one on Love Island that grosses me out. So I always like skip this episode in the season, which I hate because it's only a portion of it, but I don't want them to like even flash back to the shit. I'm like, it's so gross. They'll like go and get food in their mouth and then come back and like, yes. And the other, I'm like, I would never, that bitch have to go home. It's so gross. They do the weirdest, grossest shit.
I don't like I don't
No.
like,
I don't like regurgitation.
There's always a requirement on the challenge where they have to eat something incredibly disgusting, like and they're always vomiting as they eat it, but they have to eat it. And I'm like, can we just eliminate this part? Please?
Right.
Like the physical challenges I'm all about, but the reason they do it is because it's like a mental thing. Like your mind has to overcome it, but I can't. I just can't. I can't.
No.
Giselle's asked, and her question is, who would make the least on OnlyFans? And she says Marisol, only because you wouldn't understand it. Then they flash to Marisol and her confessional. Okay. I was so jarred by this like Gollum foot, like in her confessional, like, who doesn't want these little honeys rubbing the soot off your papaya? These are moneymaker. I'm like,
She is really bendy too. Good God.
I was like, why is her foot by her face? What the fuck is happening? Like, was that her foot? It was so jarring.
It was her foot. I know. Both times I watched this episode, I was like, ooh.
Get it away from me. That was not okay. That was it was the opposite of PR for her soon to be OnlyFans.
Yes, I'm okay having skipped that one. Yes.
Yeah, thank you.
Well.
Leah is asked who shouldn't be asked back for legacy, so she eats because she says,
of course she does.
In her confessional, she says, I have no thoughts because I don't do hiring, I don't do casting, and I don't do firing. And Candace goes, well, I don't either, but Gizelle should go. Stupid. Whitney's asked to name 3 times Heather has lied on camera, and they're like, ooh, yeah, tell us. This is proof to me that Whitney is really trying to fit in, because when he's like, no, I'm not gonna, I want to talk to Heather. I don't want to be messy no more. I go, uh-oh, don't adopt like a black scent now, girl.
Yeah.
Be careful. Like you're hanging out, you're trying to fit in way too much right now.
Yeah.
Be careful.
I'm glad you picked up on, because I did, when she said it, I was,
I was like, careful. Nope.
And then throws it out the window at the end of the episode too. So I'm just like, what is the strategy here?
Yeah.
Like literally I don't get it. Going over my head, but hey, who am I?
That's exactly what I was wondering too. Then in Heather's confessional too, she's like, pick a lane, Whitney, be a villain or be a friend. And I agree. I'm like, I'm all for Whitney being like, I'll tell you right now, and then saying it. But then she's like, I just need her to decide. It's her execution. I'm more, overall, I am not team Heather if I had to pick a team, just because Heather's driving me nuts. But it's Whitney's execution.
Yeah.
She can't get it together.
Ever.
But she's funny because she's funny to make fun of.
Yes.
That's the thing.
Agreed.
It's like Whitney's like, just, ridiculous.
Right.
Heather's question is, who gave you the black eye? And Whitney and Gizelle both admit that they think Jen did it. And then Heather's dumb confessional. Here we go. This is where I can't stand Heather. She's like, Whitney must know that I went to Jen's room and I said, I am the informant. And Jen said, oh, hell no, and bopped me. What the fuck are you doing, Heather? Like, what? Bopped you? Bopped you? Did you say bopped you?
God, they have
Get
kids
out.
bop Heather. Grow up.
Get the hell out of here.
God.
Marisol gets asked, who does she trust the least? And it's Leah. I'm like, yeah, that's fair. And even Leah's like, yeah, okay.
Yeah. I get it. Okay.
Cool. Giselle is like, okay, 45 minutes to leave for Mardi Gras. I like Marisol and Alexia bickering. I will say, though, the room hasn't been cleaned. And I kind of do agree with Marisol that that's unacceptable.
You know what? Okay. Let's talk about it. Okay. You know me. You know I'm in the hospitality management like space.
Yes.
I'm the person that when I travel, I don't like you coming into my room. I know. It sounds so weird. No, do not come in. Please don't. I'm sorry. I'm okay with my things. Like I will, because I'm not, I feel like it's kind of different with guys and girls too, because like the makeup and everything is everywhere. And like, so like the towels have like a lot, I don't know, like you have, what if I have like 3 towels in there. Like, I'm good for the time I'm there. Like, I use one the first day, use the next one the second one. I put them out of sight so I don't have to see them.
Oh no, I need my bed made. I need it all. I need it. I need it. You make my bed. I need it clean.
It only annoys me because, like, I hate, like, when they make the bed, it's like tucked to hell. So, like, you are not moving your feet in that bed when you get in it. So you've like got to go around and, like, do like this number where you like move all the sheets and so just so you can like get in the bed. I'm like, no, leave my bed the way it is. I'm okay. Don't come in here. I'm so paranoid about people like going in my bag or like taking something, like, because it's always going to be something that like you don't predict. You're like, I'm missing something. I just don't know what it is. Like, computer, no, that's still there. AirPods, no, that's still there. What of my stuff is missing right now? And I just always feel that way. And like how, I know like the hotels, like what I meant stuff, the housekeepers aren't going to be stealing from me, but like I'm so paranoid being from Memphis, this crime-riddled city, that I'm just like, I don't want anyone coming in and touching my stuff. I don't. But
I disagree.
But you should have the option, if you do want it clean, for them to come and actually clean it. So I get what they're saying. They're like, no, they haven't come and cleaned. That the expectation was you'd come in here and, tidy up or leave me some new towels, like that kind of stuff. So I get that. It's just me, like, no, I'm the annoying guy that like finds the housekeepers like when they're in other rooms. I'm like, excuse me, can I get a couple of these towels? They're like, yeah, go ahead. And I'll just grab them then. Like, I don't need anything else.
Oh, they love
I'm okay.
you though.
Yes, they're like, I don't need to come in. I'm like, nope. I'm
You're
okay.
like,
I'm
stay out.
Yes, I'm like, I'm okay. Nope. Love you though. Thank you.
But you're an exception, Kendrick.
I am, and I recognize that too, because my do not disturb sign is always on. It's always on my door.
You're an exception.
Mm-hmm.
But Alexia and Marisol, and I don't, to be honest, I don't ever share a room. Like, I would be this would be driving me fucking nuts also. Yes,
me neither. So that's where we very much differ from them, because I'm not sharing a room with anybody. This is like if we're in a hotel or we do Airbnb, that's like my thing. I'm like, I don't share rooms. I'm not sharing a room. I don't
share a bed. I don't share a bed.
Right.
Are you crazy? I don't share a bed.
Right. I'm so like not a diva in any aspect of my life that where like when I travel, I'm like, okay, me having my own space is required. Like I have, that's the one thing I have to be a diva about, because I'm like, I'm not sharing a room with anybody. Like,
I need complete alone time for a while
to recharge, to be around y'all during the day.
Yeah,
I'm the person.
Yeah, I'm an introvert like that. Like, I need recharge alone time.
Yeah, I definitely need my alone time to recharge. Can I tell y'all a little tip for people that like a black room, like a dark room to luxuriate in? If you want to go to sleep and like you don't want to be woken up by like the light beaming in, all hotels have those hangers that like not just like you hang the clothes over, but the ones that have the clips on the end of them. I put those down the drapes at nighttime, so like it is like it's almost like having blackout curtains in a hotel room. So like the light doesn't peek in at all. I'm like constantly turning and tossing, going to sleep. I wake up, I'm like, oh shit, it's 1 o'clock. Like, what am I doing with my life? It's like you don't know, because it's like pitch black in there. It's the best in the world.
Oh, you can sleep in, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah. See, I can't sleep in to save my life.
When I travel though, I'm not missing a free breakfast. That I am not doing. So I wake up in time for breakfast, but then I come back upstairs and go to sleep again. Which my family is always on the same page about. They're like, okay, let's just take another nap, a post-breakfast nap, then we'll all meet back here at noon or something like that. I'm like,
hysterical.
Perfect.
I don't miss a free breakfast. Of course he doesn't.
No, of course not. No.
Why would he? How dare he?
No.
Okay, they're on the vans.
Mm-hmm.
And Porsha is talking about how Candace has it out. This is on their way to the Mardi Gras. She has it out for her and Gizelle. And Gizelle is like, nothing's ever good enough for Candace. And unfortunately, though, Porsha is now co-signing everything Giselle's done, because she's like, she's like, yeah, your whole thing with Chris wasn't that bad. I'm like, no, it was pretty bad. She was being an asshole. Being an asshole. Now we're going too far.
Yeah.
Because she's saying that you're the bad person for trying to make Chris look bad, but she's the bad person for saying that you're trying to like make this whole thing up. Giselle's like, yeah, she said you're the reason people don't come forward with sexual assault allegations. It was a bit extreme when Candace did that. That was an extreme.
Yes.
That's an extreme.
Mm-hmm.
And then Alexia, who hasn't seen the show, is like, you never even said it was sexual assault. She didn't say it was sexual assault.
Right.
There were implications. Gizelle was being very fucking messy and very fucking reckless. It wasn't a good. Yeah, you guys have no idea what it was, but Giselle's doing a great job only giving you just a fraction of it. It's fine.
Yes.
We're moving on. I'm not in the mood to relitigate Potomac.
Yes.
Okay. The tablescape and the bar set up at this location was fantastic. Like, shout out to that event planner, whoever did that. My God, it was so Thailand and New Orleans meets all of it. It was gorgeous.
Yes. Cuisine looked amazing.
Oh, so good.
Gosh.
Gizelle gives them like the history of like Mardi Gras and whatever. And then they start getting rained on and they have umbrellas.
I love it. I love it.
Was that not amazing?
Amazing.
They're like, oh, we're getting rained on? Oh, excuse me. Boom, umbrellas.
Bloop. No rain, stop no show, okay?
Brilliant. Candace burps and the Miami ladies are like, that's disgusting. And she's laughing. She's laughing.
In Spanish.
In Spanish.
Which is like the big theme of the show, apparently.
Yeah, totally. Then Giselle's like, we got to get out of the rain. So she teaches them. It's basically like a mom keeping toddlers entertained. She teaches them the second line. Yes. She's got her little rolly suitcase with the signs for the reasonably shady like game. She's like, okay, guys, here's how you second line. They get into it.
Yes.
Was there music playing or was she just like, that's what I needed to know. Like, was there music? Did a producer throw on their phone or something? Or were they just dancing to nothing?
That's the $1 million question. I wondered that about so many reality shows too, because like I especially like I hate when someone will post a video on social media and then we see that scene on the show. So like I'm looking at you, I'm like, oh, you're dancing to Beyonce. Like, oh, I love this. But then when you see it on the show, it's like the Bravo like music composer in the background, like playing the keys or something. I'm like, oh, it doesn't hit the same, but okay, whatever. My
sister threw on an old episode of Vanderpump Rules from like season 1. And she's like, it's so funny watching it because like the music is like the score that is used in old reality TV shows was almost used across like all reality TV shows. Yes. It's like the stock score that they all had rights to. So you can watch like The Hills, you can watch Atlanta, like they use the exact same. Everyone's like, this is what we have access to. So and there was no downtime. There was no part where there was no score going. There was a score throughout the entire show. There was all to let you know, like, this is now a tense moment. Now this is a casual moment. Like there was always a score going.
Yep.
The reasonably shady game. God damn it, Gizelle, what the fuck were you even doing with this one? Is it reasonable or shady to be sick and stay with the group? I'm like, is this Marisol? And no, everyone's confused. They're like, who's this about? And they're like, Marisol? And Giselle's like, I don't know. It could be perceived as like, you're sick, so just get better. Oh. Okay, got it.
Oh, gosh.
Is it reasonable or shady to take credit for other franchises' success when your show was canceled?
Bloop.
And Alexia is like, okay, that's directed towards me, so that's shady. And I don't recall Alexia saying that did she say that they paved the way?
I don't remember that either. I want to say they played a clip at some point of her talking about that, and I don't think she did.
I think she was just saying that it was more like they made history by coming back after the years.
Yes.
But nice try, Gizelle. And then, is it reasonable or shady calling someone a bully when they're not being one? And I agree, it's fucking shady. It's an overused word. Buzzword. And Candace is like, it's reasonable because you were being bullies. I'm like, of course, Candace, here we go.
It drove me crazy when because Candace knows what she's doing too. And so when she asked that question, why is that word such a trigger for you? It's like, oh, are you kidding me?
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, when she said trigger, I'm like, excuse me?
Yeah.
The way she said it too. It's like, oh, okay, you want to go there, Candace? You want to play that game? Okay. Hasn't she been called a bully? She should be. She actually doesn't get called a bully, and she could be. Because she can say some words, but it's like, why are you so triggered by that word? But Porsha had some great responses, I will say. She's like, if I make my own statement, that's not bullying, Leah. Fair. And because it's nasty, it's awful. Porsha's, it's nasty. It is a nasty, awful word. But Porsha's right. In her confessional, she says, if Candiace wasn't just coming for Gizelle and me, she would not be writing this hard for Leah.
Right.
And it's true. It is true.
Absolutely. If she was going for Heather or Whitney or any of them, no. Candace wouldn't have a dog in that fight.
No, it's like Leah was rude. Whatever.
Right.
I can't. This was weird. Is it reasonable or shady to show your entire ass cheek when it's twice the size of everybody else's? Who are you talking about? Porsha?
It's gotta be Porsha, I guess, right?
There's no one else. Is it reasonable or shady to give a book title that you don't believe in?
Blue?
And Heather's like, read the book. And then Whitney's like, okay, wait, hold on. I know that there was a lot. Yesterday was a lot, but I want to give Heather the platform to tell them where you're at in your journey of leaving the Mormon church because it's been inconsistent. Heather's like, it's not a big deal. But Whitney's like trying to explain how she's like, I know for a lot of you, it doesn't seem like a big deal, but it is. But this is just the wrong audience.
Right.
Literally.
They're not going to give a damn.
The Miami women don't care.
Right.
They don't fucking care. And so Alexia's like, Whitney, sometimes it's like a divorce. You just haven't signed the papers yet. Okay. And of course, Heather's loving this. Heather's like, that's right, girl. Yeah, that's right. And then Whitney's like, you are on a path. I'm on a different path for the same end goal. I want you to get there. I support. And everyone's like, what the fuck are we even?
Right.
This monologue is so weird. God. And they let her, and they cut over to Gizelle, who's like, okay. I don't even, and then I want to be there by your side when you decide to sign that paper and feel what it feels like to say, no more. I am done. I am free. Gizelle goes, okay, we're moving on.
Yes. Thank you, Gizelle.
Like
Whitney thinks she's having these big moments in her head, and it's just, it does not land with anyone. It's like, what are we talking about right now?
She's like, that worked on Salt Lake City.
Yeah.
That's you.
The only place it will work.
Read a room. This is so embarrassing. All right. So they second line back to the vans. Yes. In the vans, Heather is like, let's table our issues for the 40-minute drive. And Whitney's like, okay, like, just like so annoyed. Portia's like, God, it's fucking weird that they can just, pretend like nothing happened, right? Then they get back to the villa and Whitney goes straight to her confessional, straight to that confessional. And she goes, okay, I'll tell you the 3 lies that Heather's told on camera. She knows how she got her black eye. She was never friends with Lisa Barlow. She hasn't left the Mormon church. The masks are going to come off and we're going to get to the bottom of the lies. And then
God, I hope we don't.
And she smiles like she's so proud of herself. Like, it's like, God. Once again, Whitney, you're on a mission no one cares about.
Yes, exactly.
Like, you're proud of yourself and everyone's like, oh, what? Who are you talking? Oh, yeah, Heather. Okay. Well, we've moved on.
We've more than moved on.
Classic Whitney. Classic Whitney. On
that
a
page
me. No one's on.
That annoyed me so much because she gave you, Heather said at the little lunch, if you want to do it, go ahead. I want to hear the lies that I've told. Why would you wait? And see, this is, I hate a housewife that won't say it out loud. That's my whole thing. Yes, I hate a confessional thug. Oh,
bye,
whatever,
girl.
Whitney.
Yeah. Oh, she was never friends with Lisa Barlow. Okay.
No shit.
So, you know how many housewives pretend to be friends on camera?
Exactly.
She knows how she got her black eye. I'm pretty sure we all know that.
Yep.
If that's your big bomb drop, then
this didn't do shit. Get
she
your money
hasn't
back,
left
boo.
the Mormon church. So she's not on the roll. She's writing a book against the Mormon church, though. So, like, it's not like she's in good stand. What is she, like, secretly going home and practicing Mormonism?
Right.
What does that mean? Like, how, like, oh, she's going home and she's like, I'm such a Mormon, guys. Like, I'm secretly, like, how? Like, what?
It's weird. It's
Whitney,
getting weird.
Get out of here, Whitney. All right, but
Babu.
still a fun episode, I guess.
Yes. Yes.
Anywho, okay, thanks for joining me again, Kendrick. Once again, I promise. I keep asking Kendrick last minute, guys. I'm an asshole for that. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I value you as a professional.
Oh, thank you. I value you for coming on to mine as well.
Yes, we swapped. He's like, what if you come on mine? I'm like, oh, done and done.
There we go.
Done and done.
There we go.
I'm going to be going on Kendrick's, guys, to talk about a show that you all need to be watching. It's the Queens of R&B. You can catch it it's streaming on Peacock. By the way, I recommend watching everything on Peacock. The Bravo app is a disaster. Peacock is Peacock is reliable. Don't even try to go on Bravo app. But it's SWV and Escape. Thank you. Mm-hmm. And I was gonna say and Candy. That's fucked up. That's not right. Oh, I'm in trouble. But you guys, from the second the show starts, it is like high stakes drama, like not low stakes drama. Like the first bit of drama, you're like, whoa, oh shit. Mm-hmm. It's constant, amazing drama, and it makes you realize just how much drama Candy's accustomed to dealing with, and it gives me more respect. It made me have more respect for Candy, because she's been doing Real Housewives of Atlanta all these years,
yes,
dealing with fucking Kim Zolciak and her dumbass music shit. Meanwhile, she has been a whole music legend with all that drama. So she is just built for this type of shit. Like, she is built for it, you guys. So I recommend watching this. There's 4 episodes now. I think there are gonna be 6 episodes total, right?
I don't know. My thought was that they were gonna go to like up until Atlanta came back. That was what I was thinking. So I was thinking like 8. I hope there's a
bunch.
Me too. I'm hoping,
because Atlanta starts
I don't know how many total.
May, so that would make sense if there's 8, because it would get us through. That makes sense actually. But I highly recommend. It's very, very, very good. And so I'm going to be going on Kendrick's talk about that, and also talk about the Atlanta trailer, and also the new Summer House Martha's Vineyard trailer. So check that episode out. Reality and Comics 2, everywhere you get your podcasts. Also, don't forget to follow Kendrick on Instagram at Reality and Comics 2 TOO. Everything will be listed in the episode description. Okay, guys. Stay messes. Love you. Mean it. Bye. I hope you guys enjoyed the show. If you did, would you mind leaving me a 5-star rating and review on whatever platform you are listening? If you're watching on YouTube, don't forget there's the super thanks option down at the bottom, the little button with the $ and the heart. And also I'm on buymeacoffee.com/SheSpeaksBravo if you want to buy me a little coffee or 2 or 5. And my Patreon, that is where I'm covering all of the classic Bravo jams. If you want to follow me over there and subscribe, link is in the description. And follow me on Instagram and TikTok at She Speaks Bravo. And whoever the guest was for today, all their information is always in the episode description. So if you want to follow them and check them out, check there for the info. And any of the sponsor codes that I mentioned in this episode will also be in the description. I love you guys. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. And I'll see you next time. Bye.